If there is any emergency or priority traffic, please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for 200 Zulu on Wednesdays to discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in does count. I tally up the numbers and send them out to JPL at the end of each month as part of their outreach to the general public, of which we are a part. So all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins in several ways. If you happen to have NetLogger, I will take them via the AIM window and get you on the list. That's the easiest way to get on the list. Also, I take them over the air, and I will take them via email. So if you are out there listening and cannot transmit, or you're just out there listening, I know, or don't have a license. There's some unlicensed people out there listening in today, at least have been last couple of weeks. So I do appreciate that. Please send me an email to ki0ar at ki0ar.com. And just let me know your first name, location, and if you have a call sign, I'll get you on the list as well. So, and definitely acknowledge you when I see those emails come up. So right now I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge those that have checked in via NetLogger. We have Randall, AE7RJ, thanks for checking in tonight, and Matt, W0MDK, thanks for checking in tonight, and Rip, K3XO, thanks for checking in tonight, as well as we got Ken, NV7SS checked in as well. Anyone else wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Kilo Oscar 4 Whiskey Charlie X-ray. Kilo Oscar 4 Whiskey Charlie X-ray. All in North Carolina. Kilo Foxtrot 0 Mike Lima Sierra. Kilo Foxtrot 0 Mike Lima Sierra. Sterling, Colorado. Head control, please check in. Alpha Echo 0 Lima Echo 0 Lima Echo. Whiskey 6 Romeo Delta Zulu. Whiskey 6 Romeo Delta Zulu. right. Let's pause there. We got Paul, KO4WCX. Thanks for checking in tonight. Abraham, KF0MLS, I do believe. That was the call. And JR, we got you on the list. AE0LE, thanks for checking in tonight. And we got Mark out there, KC0FSH. Good evening to you, Mark. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. And we got Ed, W6RDZ. Thanks for checking in tonight. Mark, KC0FSH. Appreciate you checking in tonight. My name is Ernest. It's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra call sign Kilowatt India Zero Alpha Romeo. We're celebrating. I should have looked at this to see what was happening 29 years ago. We're celebrating our 29th anniversary this week. I've been doing this for 29 years now. So I do appreciate that. I always like to touch base with first check-ins, find out what their interest background is in astronomy, whether you're just starting out or you've been doing it for decades like I have, or somewhere in between. This is a learning net, so we're all learning something, including myself, every week here. So, Mark, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net, KC0FSH. Tell us a little bit about your background interest in astronomy. Go ahead, please. Yes, I have no interest in astronomy. I have a telescope that has a lot of dust on it. Got it from my son. No interest. I just happened to fumble across your net and was going to check it out. So, seeing astronomy is interesting. Just never have done it. So, anyway, back in that. People have checked in, and we've piqued their interest once again in astronomy. They found the net, and now they're regulars on the net. Definitely welcome, and we appreciate you checking in tonight. And hopefully you'll become regular as well. So, and like I said, this is a learning net, and we're all here to learn and enjoy and experience the level of astronomy as well as amateur radio as well. So, welcome. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I don't see any more check-ins on the net loader. We'll look for check-ins a little bit later on. Got some announcements. I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. Or you may visit the website at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html. And at the top of the web page is also a spot where you may submit your email address and get subscribed to the email version of the newsletter as well. If you don't want to remember all that, just Google my call sign, KI0AR. You'll find a whole bunch of links, including links to the web page and the newsletter. I also volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies, a youth group that meets out in Strasburg, Colorado on Friday evenings from 6 until 8 p.m. Always looking for new members, freshmen through senior high school age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, balloon launch communication. More than welcome to visit their website at www.iaas.org or visit them on Facebook under the same name, the International Association for Astronomical Studies. Also, a reminder that the Colorado Astronomy Net also has a Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, you should sign up on there and like us both. For more information about the SkyHub Link group, you can search out skyhublink.com for more information on the nets that they hold as well and the operating procedures thereof. Probably should have been doing that from day one, but we'll do that now. Also, you are interested in flight simulations, you may want to check out Jack's weekly flight sim presentation on Wednesday nights on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. The Captain Jack Flight Sim, CaptainJackFLTSIM. That's Captain Jack Flight Sim. He has a whole bunch of amateur radio operators on there, plus some actual pilots and plus some other sim pilots on there as well. A good group of people that like to just get together and fly along with Jack as he goes now. So if you're interested in that, definitely feel free to join us. And let's see, we got Roy, KI7PKL, just in via NetLogger. So we got you on the list, Roy. Anyone else to check into tonight with your call sign, genetic advice? Good. Okay, good evening to you, Tony. W7EFS, thanks for checking in tonight. And let's see. We have an interesting one out there. Let's see. Okay, let's see. That one's checked in via NetLogger. Hopefully you're out there listening. If you are listening, we didn't get anything on the reception. You may want to try the Echo Link node direct echo link node is W0SKY-L, number 985839 is our direct echo link node to check into the Skylink system. So there you go. And hopefully you'll stick around. And I do appreciate you listening. Again, you can send an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com. You know you're out there. I definitely appreciate new calls on the West. And let's see. That's it for right now. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. And let's see. Here's the local astronomical news for February. Start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We've got a first quarter. We'll start off with a first quarter moon tomorrow evening. We've got a full moon coming up on the 12th, last quarter moon on the 20th, and the new moon occurring on the 27th. The moon was at perigee, its closest approach to the Earth this month. Back on the 1st, it was 228,327 miles from Earth. The moon will be at apogee, its farthest point away from the Earth, on the 17th at 251,582 miles from Earth. And Tom, no worries about the node. Did you catch the Skyhawk Link node? 985839 is our direct node. So hopefully you can get that. But Tom responded on NetLogger, so that's another advantage of checking in via NetLogger. You can drop me a note real quick and get on there. And let's see. And Tony, yeah, what was my question? I forget what's going on. Well, let's see. Yeah, I got a few things for what was happening 29 years ago in astronomy. So I just pulled that up. So we'll discuss that a little bit later on. All right. Let me continue on after I let this thing reset here. All right, planetary highlights for February. We're quickly losing sight of Saturn, but Venus, Jupiter, and Mars dominate the sky. Uranus and Neptune are easy binocular objects. Mars is still at its best, having reached opposition last month. Jupiter has many satellite transits visible in small telescopes. Early in the month, the moon passes in front of the Pleiades, visible from the western U.S. And we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes when we get down to it. So that's actually occurring, I guess later this evening. So I got more information coming up on that. But, actually, tomorrow evening, and early Thursday morning, I should say. Where was I? Continuing on. That was an excerpt That was an excerpt from Astronomy Magazine, February 2025, page 28. Mercury will be at superior conjunction on the 9th. Mercury rises at 7:02 a.m. on the 1st. After conjunction, Mercury returns to the evening sky. Mercury sets about 7:13 p.m. ahead. Mercury is visible about 30 minutes after sunset, just above the western horizon during the last week of February. Right now, it's way too close to the eastern horizon to be spotted in the morning. Excuse me. Mercury moves from the constellation of Capricornus into Pisces, shining at magnitude minus 1.1 on the 28th. All right, Venus. Okay, quick tutorial on magnitudes for those of you who may not know about brightness scales, things like that. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as objects increase in magnitude, they decrease in brightness, apparent brightness, by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see, the optimum human eye can see under optimum dark sky conditions, is about 6th magnitude. The best we can ever hope for in the sea here is about 4th magnitude. A 5th magnitude object is 2.5 times brighter than a 6th magnitude, while a 7th magnitude object is 2.5 times dimmer than a 6th magnitude, meaning you'll definitely need binoculars or a telescope to spot anything greater than 6th magnitude. And it looks like we may be having some echo problems. Not much I can do there, but please bear with us, and hopefully you'll be able to catch most of the net tonight anyway. Oh, let's see. Venus is at greatest brilliancy, magnitude minus 4.9 on the 14th. So a super bright Venus this month. Venus will be stationary on the 27th, meaning that it neither appears to move forward nor backward relative to the background stars on that particular day. Venus sets about 9:07 p.m. on the 1st, about 8:27 p.m. the month's end. Look for Venus to the west about 30 minutes after sunset. Venus is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude minus 4.9 on the 15th. All right, Mars is stationary on the 24th. Mars rises at 3:01 p.m. on the 1st, and about 12:59 p.m. by month's end. Look for Mars to the southeast in the evening, actually closer towards the east in the evening. Follow Mars across the sky almost all night long. Mars is in the constellation of Gemini, shining at magnitude minus 0.7. Then we have Jupiter. Will be stationary. It is stationary today. Jupiter sets at 3:12 a.m. on the 1st and about 1:27 a.m. by month's end. Jupiter is easy to spot to the south in the evening sky. Follow Jupiter across the sky for the rest of the evening and into the early morning hours. Jupiter is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude minus 2.4. So all three of those planets are quite prominent right now. If you go outside, and at least for those of you who are in the States right now, it might be a little bit more difficult to spot. You still probably able to see Jupiter, maybe Mars, Well, no, Jupiter is already set over there in England. You should be able to see Mars towards the west over there in England right now. That's about it. All right. But if you go out in the evening, you should be able to see Venus quite prominently towards the west southwest, and then Jupiter will appear, and then Mars towards the east. Saturn will be very very low on the western horizon and be a little bit more difficult to spot. You'll have to definitely get out there a little bit earlier. Right now, it's very close to the horizon, and kind of lost there in the lost in the evening twilight. There may not be so much twilight right now, but it'll be kind of tricky to spot Saturn. Speaking of which, we got Saturn setting about 8:07 p.m. on the first, and about 6:34 p.m. by month's end. By the time the sun sets, Saturn is low to the west. Saturn is in the constellation of Aquarius, shining at magnitude 1.1. And we got Uranus setting starts at 1:44 a.m. on the first, and about 11:52 p.m. by month's end. Look for Uranus to the south soon after sunset. Uranus moves from the constellation of Aries into Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.7. And here's the transition between visible planets and those that you will definitely need binoculars or a small telescope for. We got Neptune setting about 9 p.m. on the first, and about 7:15 p.m. by month's end. Look for Neptune to the west, following Saturn by less than an hour all month. Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.8. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing. For our dwarf planets, we have Ceres is in conjunction with the Sun on the 14th. Ceres sets at 5:43 p.m. on the 1st. After conjunction, Ceres returns to the morning sky, rising about 6:48 a.m. by month end. Ceres is lost in the evening and morning twilight glow all month and is not visible. Ceres moves from the constellation of Capricornus into Aquarius, shining at magnitude 9.0. We have Pluto rising about 6:50 a.m. on the 1st and about 5:03 a.m. by month's end. Pluto is lost in the morning twilight glow for most of the month. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.2. You probably won't be able to see Pluto until later in the month, under optimum conditions, for sure. As always, good luck at spotting Neptune, Ceres, and Pluto. A large telescope and dark skies will be needed. A nice 14-inch scope or larger for Pluto, for sure. Meteor showers. February has no meteor showers. Sporadic meteors can be seen at any time, so it's worth keeping watch for the occasional bright streak while observing the wonders of the night sky. As we approach the vernal equinox, the zodiacal light makes an evening appearance on moonless nights. The most favorable time is the second half of the month, when the moon is in the morning sky. Pick a dark location with a clear view west. Right after dusk, as the sky darkens, watch for a cone-shaped glow similar to the Milky Way, whereas twilight is a low diminishing glow to the west. The zodiacal light is a steeply angled cone aligned with the ecliptic. In the east, extending up through Taurus. It lasts over an hour and is caused by sunlight reflecting off billions of meteoric particles. Now, this is an excerpt from Astronomy Magazine, February 2025, page 29. And if you haven't ever seen the zodiac light, it is kind of an eerie glow under dark sky conditions, so it's kind of neat to see that. And the ecliptic is the line in which the planets tend to follow across the sky, the planets and the sun, for sure. So you can get an idea of where to look, for sure. Comets. Got a couple of comets. We got Comet 29P, Watchman 1, may still have an outburst in brightness from around magnitude 15 to 10.5 this month as flat. But will be a challenge for most observers. Excuse me. The comet is passing just south of Regulus in the constellation of Leo. We also have Comet C 2024 G3 Atlas is visible in the southern hemisphere in the constellations of Pisces, Australis, shining around magnitude 4.9, making it just visible to the naked eye observer under dark sky conditions. And there are quite a few pictures on Astronomy Picture of the Day, or APOD, A-P-O-D. If you search for that, you can find some neat images from last month for sure. But it's still hanging out and just visible to the naked eye at magnitude 4.9 there. And then, as promised, a little discussion on the occultation of the Pleiades. The moon occults the Pleiades, M45, on the 5th and 6th. The occultation is observable from the western third of the U.S. And there's predictions of those paths for several other stars in the Pleiades. I've got predictions for those links in the newsletter and the web page as well. For Electra, Maya, Alcyon, and Atlas are 4 of the stars in the Pleiades. And that occurs, takes about an hour for the moon to transit those stars. Central time, probably around 0700 Zulu. 0700 Zulu on, that'll be the 6th. About 1 o'clock a.m. Tomorrow morning on the 6th, our time, here in Denver. 2 a.m. Central time, midnight on the West Coast. The moon will be occulting the Pleiades. The East Coast, not going to get to see too much. They'll be a little bit closer to sunrise there. You may miss some of that. But again, you can find the links on the webpage, and you can go to the International Occultation Timing Association's webpage, or IOTA website. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for Colorado Astronomy Net. And we got We got Carl, KB2FA. Good evening to you, Carl. Welcome to the net tonight. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for checking in tonight. So I'll go ahead and look for some more check-ins before I get into the bulletins for this evening. Anyone else wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with their call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo Echo 4, Uniform Yankee Delta. Kilo Echo 4, Uniform Yankee Delta.
Okay, good evening to you, Michael. KE4UYD, thanks for checking in tonight. Very weak signal coming through, very broken as well. I got a Charlie whiskey in there, I do believe, or definitely had some whiskey in there. I don't have any whiskey at my desk. Maybe that's a good thing. But definitely in the call sign there. If you can come back again, I'll get you on the list. If we're not successful, you can send me an email to ki0ar at ki0ar.com and let me know you're out there. Just include in your email your name and location, and I'll get you on the list and your call sign for sure. Right now I'm looking at, don't see anybody else with sending emails, so I don't have any emails out there yet. But Charlie Whiskey Station, please come again.
Whiskey 2, Juliet, Lima, Sierra, John, JLS, in Carolina, Ohio.
Okay, let's see. Hopefully that was you, Bruce. KF0PCW, Papa Charlie Whiskey. I think that was it. Gotcha. Well, I think that was Kilo Fox Zero. That's what I heard. Let me see. Yeah, you checked in before. We got you there. And John, W2JLS, thanks for checking in tonight. And Martin, W9EAA, thanks for checking in tonight. Do appreciate everybody checking in tonight for sure. All right. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. ISS passes over the Denver area. I like to use this website so I can print out nice 8.5 by 11 star charts for those decent passes coming up. www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. And like I said, I like to sign up for that, put in my home coordinates, and print out those ISS passes. Makes it rather convenient rather than looking at a small cell phone or even an iPad, which does better, but The 8.5 by 11 piece of paper does me well. We got a decent pass coming up on the morning of February 12th over the Denver area. At 6:21 a.m., the ISS travels from the southwest to the east-northeast, peaking about 51 degrees above the southeast horizon. A solid 6.5-minute pass. Most of the passes that I see for ISSs are about 6.5 to maybe 7 minutes at best over your particular area. Again, that website is www.heavens-above.com for more information on ISS passes. Or use whatever apps you want to for that, whatever works for you. I just happen to like this one. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control of the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right. A quick 29 years ago in astronomy in just a sec. All right, Stanley, we got you on the list. VE3PSE, thanks for checking in tonight. All right, here's a few points from 1996. I started the net on February 5th of 1996. That was our first one. Tonight is net number 1514. So I've been doing it, or having a substitute do it every Tuesday night since then. The Hubble Space Telescope continued to be a major focus in astronomy, capturing iconic images and contributing significantly to our understanding of the universe. Deep field observations, Hubble's deep field images taken in 1995, revealed a vast number of previously unseen galaxies, revolutionizing our perception of the universe's planetary exploration. Missions like Galileo spacecraft exploring Jupiter and its moons were actively sending that data. And in Comet Hale-Bopp, this bright comet was visible to the naked eye in 1997, becoming one of the most widely observed comets in recent history. Let's see. And those are just a few of the points from 29 years ago, 28, 29 years ago. So there you go. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. I'm going to pull up some other things here and see if there's any other significant items. All right, nothing that pops out very quickly on an internet search, but Hubble was the big stuff going on. Let's see. All right. What else? What else is going on? What else is going on? Oh, yeah. Pardon me. Just thinking aloud there. Bulletins for this evening. If you guys recall, we talked about Bennu and what happened to it quite a few years ago. This is from Science News. Life's ingredients have been found in samples from asteroid Bennu. Warm, salty ponds, but no living creatures also dotted the space rock's precursor body. Underground pools of liquid brine probably formed 4.6 billion years ago on the parent body of the asteroid Bennu and contain the building blocks of life, but not living creatures. That's the takeaway from new chemical analyses of samples that NASA's OSIRIS-REx missions snagged from the roughly 500-meter-long space rock in 2020 and returned to Earth 3 years later. The findings suggest that not all potentially habitable environments go on to develop life. Researchers reported in two papers published January 29th in Nature and Nature Astronomy. Planetary scientists study asteroids and comets because they offer a glimpse of the pristine conditions present in the early solar system. It's like trying to understand what Thanksgiving dinner is by looking at the leftover scraps on the compost pile, says astrobiologist Jason Dworkin, the project scientist for OSIRIS-REx at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. You can look and see, there's a little bit of carrot tops. There must have been carrots used somewhere. In this case, investigations of the space rock's compost pile yielded organic compounds, including the 5 nucleic acids that make up DNA and RNA, and 14 of the 20 amino acids that cells use to make proteins, along with 19 other amino acids rarely used in living things. There were also a number of salty minerals that would have formed as liquid water slowly evaporated, similar to those found around dry lake beds on Earth. Bennu, which orbits mostly between Earth and Mars, broke off between 700 million and 2 billion years ago from a larger body, an ancient relic of the dawn of the solar system that formed somewhere out past the orbit of Saturn. The decay of radioactive elements present in that earlier body would have produced heat, melting water inside the object and creating room temperature brine pools that might have been a few meters deep and persisted for several thousand years. While such warm, wet ponds appear to have contained the biochemical precursors for life, these pools don't seem to have proceeded to the life-making stage. Many organic molecules come in two mirror image versions of one another. Living things on Earth almost exclusively use the left-handed versions, while Bennu's sample contains the right and left-handed versions of nucleic and amino acids in equal amounts. Some potential explanations are that the brine pools didn't last long enough, or that they had the wrong temperature or pH, or perhaps that Bennu lacked an atmosphere, Dworkin says. And that's it for that bulletin for this evening. This is KI0AR, Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, I'm going to call on Ed, W6RDZ, for the rocket report tonight. But I'll first check to see if Ed is available and didn't get called in. We'll see. W6RDZ, Ed, are you with us tonight?
Good evening, Ernest. Happy 29th anniversary of the astronomy. Yes, W6RDZ is ready to give the rocket report at your command. Back to you. How am I sounding?
You're sounding fine, Ed. Please go ahead. That'll give my voice a rest. It's a lot better than last week. Still a little touchy, but if you were here last week, I was suffering. That's for sure. At least my voice was. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ed, with the rocket report. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
All right, good evening to the net. This is W6RDZ Rocket Man Ed with tonight's rocket report. Past week saw 6 launches. 4 of them were SpaceX, 1 out of Japan, and 1 Blue Origin suborbital flight. All right, we're starting out first launch Wednesday, January 29th at 1834 Mountain Standard Time. SpaceX successfully launched SpainSat New Generation 1 from LC-39A, Kennedy Space Center, Florida. First of 2 of Spain's new military communications satellites was lofted by a Falcon 9 to geostationary transfer orbit. SpainSat, the new generation, will multiply by 16 times the capacity in X and K military bands with respect to the current satellite, and will add a new payload in the UHF band. It was booster 1073's 21st flight and its last. This was that rare Falcon 9 launch when the booster is extended rather than recovered. The reason SpaceX was not trying to recover the booster was due to the extra thrust needed to reach the satellite's intended orbit. Our second launch was also SpaceX. They successfully launched another Falcon 9 Starlink Group this 11-4 mission from Slick 4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. That on Thursday, July 30th at 16:02 Mountain Standard Time. The late afternoon launch from Vandenberg was all fogged in, but that didn't stop them. 22 V2 minis joined the Starlink constellation in low Earth orbit. It was booster B-1075's 17th flight. Third launch was Japan, Mitsubishi Heavy Industry. They successfully launched the Mitsubishi 6 mission on an H3-22S rocket from the Tanegashima Space Center in Japan. That was on Saturday, February 1st at 0130 Mountain Standard Time. The Quasi-Zenith satellite system is a regional supplemental Japanese satellite navigation system operating from an inclined elliptical geosynchronous orbit to achieve optimal high elevation visibility in urban canyons and mountainous areas. This was the H3's 5th launch and placed the 4.9 metric ton payload into geostationary orbit. All right. All right, W6RDZ back with the rocket report on Colorado Astronomy Net. Later this morning, Tuesday, February 4th at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Blue Origin had another go at it and successfully launched the NS-27 New Shepard from Corn Ranch, West Texas. This was an unmanned suborbital flight intended to simulate lunar gravity with 30 payloads aboard. Blue Origin used the RCS thrusters to spin the New Shepard's capsule up to 11 RPM during the 2 minutes of freefall. That to simulate 1/6 lunar gravity at the payload's radius. The only hitch this story was the failure of one of the capsule's 3 redundant parachutes for fully the balloon on descent. Blue Origin attempted this last Tuesday, but went into a hold at T-minus 10 minutes. The team assessed weather conditions and worked on an avionics issue. The hold lasted an hour and a half, and Blue Origin announced the scrub of last week's launch. All right, sixth and lastly today, well, not the last one today, but before our astronomy net, at 16:07 today, Monday the 4th, SpaceX successfully launched Worldview Legion 5 and 6 mission on a Falcon 9 from LC-39A at Kennedy Space Center. Currently being built by SSL, Worldview Legion is Maxar's next generation of Earth observation satellites. The 2 satellites are headed to low Earth orbit with a total mass of 1.5 metric tons. It was SpaceX's 450th mission. We'll break there. All right, W6RDZ back with the rocket report for the Astronomy Net. Upcoming launches. All right, we've got, as of right now, I think, we have 3 SpaceX, 1 Chinese, and 1 Russian. Right about now at 8 o'clock, 2000 Mountain Standard Time, Tuesday, February 4th, Russia scheduled to launch a Soyuz 2.1V/Volga rocket from Plesetsk Cosmodrome in Russia. Don't bother leaving the Astronomy Net to watch it. It won't be live streams, as this is the launch of a classified Russian military satellite. Next launch, SpaceX plans to launch another Starlink mission, Group 12-9, on Friday, February 7th at 11:50 Mountain Standard Time. I'm sorry, Daylight, Standard Time. And that's going up out of Cape Canaveral. That one will be followed on Saturday, February 8th at 17:25 Mountain Standard Time by Starlink Group 11-10. Okay, Tuesday, February 11th at 0300 Mountain. China Aerospace and Science Corporation is on the docket to launch a demo flight of the Long March 8A rocket with upgraded first-stage booster engines and a new, larger liquid hydrogen oxygen second stage with the YF-75H engines. And the last one we've got on the docket later next Tuesday, February 11th at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. SpaceX plans to launch Starlink Group 12-8 out of Florida. Now we got a few things here on our news items. I'm going to break there for the reset the repeater. All right, W6RDZ back with the Colorado Astronomy Net. A couple of news items here for our net. Last week, I told of NASA's astronaut Sue Williams performing a successful spacewalk on the ISS. That was back on January 16th. Well, she did it again. This time with Boeing Starliner crewmate Butch Wilmore. He spent 5.5 hours outside the airlock last Thursday, January 30th. Let's see. Thursday's EVI was Wilmore's 5th, bringing his total time in spacewalking to 31 hours and 2 minutes. It was the 9th outing for Sue Williams, who has now logged 62 hours and 6 minutes. During the EVA, she surpassed the record for the most time spent in the vacuum of space by any woman. The previous total of 60 hours and 21 minutes was set by now former NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson in 2017. Whitson still holds the record for the most spacewalks by a woman at 10. Sue Williams now ranks fourth on the worldwide list of all spacewalkers by time spent on EVA. All right. Second news item. I'm going to reset there and be right back. All right. The W6RDZ back with Colorado Astronomy Net, finishing up the rocket report. Jeff Faust of Space News reports an Indian navigation satellite launched last Tuesday is stuck in transport orbit after a propulsion failure. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, stated February 2nd that the NVS-20 satellite, launched January 28th, suffered a thruster failure that kept the spacecraft from raising orbit. Its orbit as planned. According to a statement posted on ISRO's website, but not otherwise publicized by the agency, quote, the orbit-raising operations toward positioning the satellite to designated orbital slot could not be carried out as the valves for emitting oxidizer to fire the thrusters for orbit raising did not open. ISRO noted in the statement that other systems on the spacecraft were working well, including a successful deployment of its solar panels. The statement, though, suggested that ISRO had given up on fixing the propulsion system on the satellite. The satellite systems are healthy, and the satellite is currently in an elliptical orbit. Alternate mission strategies for utilizing the satellite for navigation in elliptical orbit is being worked out, ISRO stated. However, the low perigee of NVS-2 would put the spacecraft in danger of re-entering soon because of the high atmospheric drag at that low altitude. It was not clear if there are alternative propulsion systems on the spacecraft that could raise the perigee enough to avoid re-entry in the near future. That's his article, and I have heard since then that they are abandoning that. That lost satellite will be re-entering pretty soon here. All right, that's it for tonight's rocket report. Rocket Man Ed, W6RDZ. Wish you a good night. 905. Right, now back to Starvin Burness. KI0AR net control.
Okay, thanks for that, Ed. Appreciate it. Appreciate you doing the rocket report this evening. This is KI0AR net control for Colorado Astronomy Net. So, for you who do have Wire, I did post a link to the rocket report, which contains several links to those articles in there as well, into the AIM window there, so you can get that as well. Let's see. Who do we got? Let's see. Robert, we got you on the list. A588, thanks for checking in tonight. Anyone else wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo 7, Mike Lima, India. Kilo 7, Mike Lima, India.
Kilo Juliet 7, Quebec Golf Foxtrot. Kilo Juliet 7, Quebec Golf Foxtrot.
Now it's time for everyone else to contribute to that. Questions, comments, observations. Let's see. Oh, first on the list tonight is Grant Washington, AE7RJ. Good evening to Grant. Okay, next on the list is Matt in Inglewood, W0MDK. Good evening to you, Matt. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
This is Whiskey Zero, myself Kilo. Hi, Ernest and everyone on the net. Don't have a whole lot going on because it's winter time and I just don't like going out cold nights too much, which is kind of counterintuitive to this hobby because a long night is a lot more to look at. Plus, the fact that we're on standard time means that everything happens earlier. But every now and then I do get up in the morning and try and look for the Corona Borealis. Still, that hasn't happened yet. Um, Other than that, saw the conjunction of the crescent moon with Venus a few nights ago. That was awfully pretty. I think that was Saturday night that happened. Other than that, not too much. Glad that that's still going on. Congratulations on 29 years. FTI0AR from W0MDK.
All right, Matt. Well, we kind of like we kind of have an Indian summer here in Denver for at least a few days. Yeah, well, I've been sitting in the summer, and my wife said it was in the teens. And like I said, it's counterintuitive. But some of the best nights are the winter nights when the skies do tend to be a lot crisp, less water vapor and moisture. But a little bit they sometimes will stand out there hours on end. And it's a night sky for sure. But we'll have to talk with Roy in just a minute and see what his observations were last week for sure. Um, all right, Matt. Appreciate your comments. Actually, it looks like it's going to get warmer between here and now and midnight. By 5 or so. So we're kind of having a heat wave in the middle of the night. Then it starts going down again. Oh well. Matt, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Rip out in West Virginia. K3XO. Good evening to you, Rip. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
This is K3XO, and good evening, Ernest and everybody else. Thanks for keeping this net alive for so long. That's pretty extraordinary. I don't have much to contribute tonight. A little sleepy, but I did manage to stay awake through the net.
So I'm wondering, uh, why don't you try again, and I'll listen and see what you have to see if I have any comments for you. Please go ahead again, and I'll listen on analog. This is KI0AR.
This K3XO, there was a gap there. I'm not sure if that was intended for me. I didn't have anything particularly worth repeating, but hopefully this transmission will give you an opportunity to check your reception. K3XO, back to now.
Okay, looks like we're having some connection problems with Echo Link. This is Eddie from my side. On Echo Link or on the people side. So, apologies for anybody that missed that. But I appreciate your comment. Appreciate you checking in. Well, I'm going to go back to, let me go back to this one. People side, flyer set side. Okay, yeah, I went to the Wires X side. All right, I'm back there. Rip, I guess we kind of doubled there. You want to try again? This is KI. Yeah, go ahead.
It's K3XO again. Well, I didn't really have anything in particular to say. I enjoy listening to the net. I appreciate the work you put into it. I didn't realize you'd been doing it for so long, and I think you're doing something very valuable to pull all this stuff together for the community. So that's basically what I said before, more or less. So I will keep it here, 73 to all. K3XO, back to net.
So it's not too. Yeah, I'm dropping out myself. It's not too bad. I enjoy doing it. So I enjoy sharing the hobbies. All right, Rep, appreciate you. Is Ken out in Nevada. Uh, Room D.
Okay there, Bernice. Thanks for letting me have a turn there. And well, I tell you, it's warmed up outside pretty much tonight. It's 65 degrees outside, and actually pleasant to be outside looking at the stars. The stars are nice and brilliant tonight. A little bit of haze out there around the sky, but I can see the constellations up there pretty good. Orion's coming out through really good, and the planets are still pretty much in line out there and nice and bright. But anyway, the moon's straight right overhead just about, and I sent you that picture of the observatory there in Chile. Boy, I'd like to go see that when it's completed. The last thing I saw was just about 3/4 of the way done. But anyway, Yeah, would you like to go see that sometime? Anyway, Bernard, I'll let you get on with the net. Thanks a lot for being there, and we'll see you next week. NV7SS in the Indian Springs, Nevada. Back to the net.
Next list again, NV7SS out in the good evening. You can go ahead. All right, Ken. Enjoy the warm weather for sure. Let's see. Uh, yeah, definitely keep an eye on the moon the next couple of days. For sure. Later tomorrow night. Like I said, the moon will occult the Pleiades. It's going to be passing very, very close to Uranus tomorrow as well. So I'll look for that quick conjunction of the moon and Uranus. I'm not exactly sure what time that's going to occur, but tomorrow evening, see it pretty close, and maybe able to take binoculars and scan the skies for that. But stay up late tomorrow night and watch the Pleiades and get occulted by the moon after midnight tomorrow. So watch for that. KI tonight. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Stormy Net. On the list is Paul out in North Carolina, KO4WCX. Good evening to you, Paul. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, good evening, guys. To everyone on the net. This is Paul, KO4WCX from Childerville Hills, North Carolina. First of all, Bruce, congratulations and happy anniversary on tonight. An excellent job for all the 21 years you've been active. Thank you very much for all of that work. I can't imagine how much it is, but it must be a bunch. So anyway, last time I was on here, I talked a little bit about the challenge that I picked up. Trying to spot Miss 1, which is the Crab Nebula, which is a faint object in Taurus, binoculars, and to summarize how quickly I failed to do that the last time, but be deterred. I kept at it, and I finally actually saw it. I cheated a little bit because I threw 15 by 70 binoculars at it, which is only too little aperture. That's nice, but I actually finally grabbed it. I had to stare because the problem was the better part of a half an hour before I could get a fleeting glimpse, but I did it. I feel rather, I don't know, accomplished. Anyway, I thought that I would just share that with everyone. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. See summer. I'm here too. I have a feeling that's going to end soon enough. Anyway, back to you, Brent. Careful, WCS.
All right, Paul. Congrats on that accomplishment. It's kind of like working weak signal stations, for sure, and getting those getting those contacts and getting those observations. Kind of you get the same feeling when you work that weak signal. And the same thing with you're trying to find that particular object with binoculars, or as opposed to a powerful telescope. So, work something with 5 watts as opposed to 105 watts. So, there you go. Congrats on that, for sure. And appreciate the comments and appreciate you checking in tonight, Paul. Thanks for that. Next on the list is Abraham, KF0MLS out in Sterling. Good evening to you, Abraham. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is JR. AE0LE out in Ray. Good evening to you, JR. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, Bernard. Good evening to everyone on the net. This is JR, AE0LE. Yeah, I haven't been doing much sky watching, but I'm enjoying the net quite a bit, as always. He's doing a good job, Ernest. Yeah, with that, I'm going to send it back. Don't really have a whole lot to benefit the net tonight, but enjoying listening and as thanks for doing it. AE0 League back on net control.
All right, JR. Hey, just showing up and checking in. Benefits the net for sure there. Hey, JR, appreciate you being here. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Mark out in Missouri. New call on the list, KC0FSH. Good evening to you, Mark. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Ed, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening again, Bernard. Good evening again to the net. Not much more for you. I have been enjoying looking out at the planets, all the planets that are up at night. Very, very pretty. That's really about it that I have for anything else. Do know that if you're looking for that Russian launch, it's been held 40 minutes, so won't be going up until top of the hour. That's about everything I have. W6RDV, and happy anniversary again. 29 years. Do appreciate all you're doing. Very worthwhile. Back to net control. Starman Burners here.
And Rocket Man Ed, I appreciate you doing the Rocket Report as well, so thanks for that. Appreciate your comments, appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR, Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Roy out in Oregon, KI7PKL. Leaving you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Man, I hate to say it. I've been busy this week and I still haven't done my processing. About at least 9 hours with all three of the targets I was doing, so I probably put some processing up. Combining, with imaging sections with different flats and so forth like that. So I've got a little bit of
Roy, you were a bit broken on that transmission. We caught some of it. I know you have a lot of work to do. You're working on processing all those images that you were talking about capturing last week. Hopefully you did. In fact, I published one of your images for this month's newsletter. Said Nebula. I like that one so much that I decided to use that in the newsletter, so I do appreciate that. So I kind of stole that for you. So I'll give you kudos for that one. So if you want to check out some of Roy's images, check out his QRZ page. I used the one that he had on the Horsehead Nebula in the newsletter, KI7PKL on QRZ. Check out some of his images there. Roy, I look forward to seeing what you're gonna get processed in the next couple of weeks for sure. Appreciate that. Appreciate your comments there. Maybe we can try again and see if we can get a more solid copy because you were definitely broken up. Go ahead, Roy. Try again, please. Yep. On this end. So, I probably should keep it short. I promise. We'll take it right. Oh, what was it, 29th anniversary? Yeah, Roy broke it again. I did catch the 29th anniversary. Yep, 29. 1996, February 5th, 1996 was the first net. First official net on the air. I had been publishing a astronomy newsletter a little bit before then, but yeah. um, Yep, 29 years. Boy, I was a youngster then. All right, Roy, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Tony up in Washington, W7EFS. Good evening to you, Tony. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, Tony dropped off of NetLogger a little earlier, but he did post he has an enthusiastic suggestion for you guys is to view the BBC program, Everything and Nothing. So if you search for BBC, Everything and Nothing, you can see what those guys have. I did a quick look for that. What might be interesting to search. They've got a YouTube channel as well, so you may want to check that out. They had some interesting models of the Big Bang and what it might look like to start off as one of their headers there. But that was just a quick look, but that's a suggestion to you guys. BBC, Everything and Nothing. So check that out. That's compliments of Tony, W7EFS there. This is KI0AR Net Control for Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Tom in England, 2E0. EUM. Good evening to you, Tom. You got your, let's see, welcome to the net. It looks like you got stuff back on there, so you can share with us what your interest in astronomy is, and anything else. It's your turn. And again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net, 2E0EUM. Go ahead. What have you got for us tonight, Tom? Go ahead. Okay, seems we may be having some connection problems again with Tom there. But Tom, if yeah, I see you're still monitoring. Hopefully you're still listening. So again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. We have another fellow from England that hangs around, Graham. I don't know if you know him. His call sign is Mike 1 Delta Echo Alpha. Mike 1 Delta Echo Alpha. He's up in Scotland. He also checks in every now and then into the Colorado Astronomy Net as well from England there. From Scotland, I should say. And you from England there. So definitely appreciate you guys staying up late and or very, very early morning and hanging out with us. So Tom, I do appreciate you checking in tonight. Well, if you want to post anything in the AIM window, I'll certainly pass that along. But I do appreciate you checking in, and welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Carl out in New Jersey, KB2FA. Good evening to you, Carl. What have you got for the net tonight?
Hey, Ernest and everyone else on the net. This is Carl in New Jersey. Not a whole lot, just checking in. Wanted to say hi to everybody. And haven't had a whole lot of time for astronomy, but you know, when I do have a clear night, I try to go out and see some of the sites. So with that, back to net control. KB2FA.
All right, Carl. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight as well. Appreciate you staying up late with us tonight. Next on the list is Michael in Tennessee, KE4UYD. Good evening to you, Michael. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Michael, KE4UYD. I got a burst of static. That was about it. I don't know if that was you or not, but try again. We seem to be having some connection problems tonight. Go ahead, please. This is KI0AR Net Control for Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Bruce out in Aurora. KF0PCW. Good evening to you, Bruce. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is John out in Ohio, W2JLS. Good evening to you, John. What have you got for that tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, Bernice, and everyone out there on the net. Good evening on your ears on the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to send it back to you here to see if you're hearing me. I think there have been some connectivity issues.
John, I was wondering the same thing. You came in solid, a solid copy there. Go ahead, John, please.
W2, JLS returning. Thanks for that, Bernice. I want to take the opportunity to wish you a happy anniversary, 29 years of doing this. That's spectacular. You mentioned a few things here that I need to comment on briefly. First of all, Graham out there in Scotland, I listen to him on Fridays sometimes and try to chime in with him and Helen, Queen of Scots, or Queen of Scotland, whenever I get a chance. But it's been a minute. I'll have to try to check in on them. If Graham is listening, I just want to wave a hand out to him and Helen out there in Scotland. So there's that. Then you did mention Hale Bopp earlier, and I have to say, I was a young man at the time, and I was looking at that for days. In the evenings, I was living in Charleston. I would go swimming out at a rec center near my home, and I'd go in and come out, and the night sky would be up, and that Hale Bopp would be off on the horizon. It was just spectacular. Anyone that was alive and doing that at the time can relate, but it was like magic. They had a lot of clear nights for that, so that was spectacular. One of the things I thought to mention, and this is really nothing to do with astronomy other than maybe of distant relatives and the recreation, really, entertainment side stuff. It inadvertently happened TV series starring John Lithgow and Kristen Johnson and Frank Stewart, Third Rock from the Sun. And I don't know if all of you astronomy folks out there, if you're familiar with that and you found the absurdity of that show as entertaining as I did, but I just thought I'd bring it up. If you haven't looked at it, maybe put eyes on that. It's very funny, and I having looked at it recently, can say that it's as fresh now and absurd and funny as it was back when I watched it. I want to say maybe in the 90s. But anyway, I won't hold it. I just really, I love the universe. I love that you do this show, Bernice, and happy anniversary. And a good evening to all. W2JLS back to net.
All right, John. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I'll try to remember to do some of those anniversary things. Well, it'll be the same stuff, but next year for the 30th. But yeah, but yeah, definitely. We talked about that way back when, and we talked about a whole. Well, I don't think I could find all the stuff we talked about back then. I'd have to go back and look and see if I have an archive of my astronomy newsletters from way back. I've had so many different computers since then. Probably I might have them on disk or something. But John, I do appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Thanks for that. Next on the list is Marty out in Iowa. W9EAA. Good evening to you, Marty. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Bruce, W9 Echo Alpha. Not in Iowa, but yeah, it's for a winter place here in north central Florida. Not too much to report. Just a big congratulations on your 29th anniversary. Thank you, Ernest. W9 Echo Alpha, north central Florida.
All right, Marty. Yeah, north and central Florida, so you're enjoying the Florida weather in the winter there. So, congrats for that. All right, Marty. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Stan up in Ontario, VE3PSE. Good evening to you, Stan. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Bruce, and everybody on frequency. I'll just like go back just to check, see if I'm coming through. I noticed a lot of static earlier. Victor Echo 3, Papa Sierra Echo, back from net control for a second.
Yes, Dan, you're good through whatever node you're coming through. You're solid copy. Same with whoever else. Last couple of, the last three of you for sure. Whatever you're on, Echo Link or whatever, you're coming in solid copy. So no worries there. You may want to post you're using because that seems to be better than some in the AIM window. But Sam, go ahead.
Hey, good evening, everybody on frequency. Thanks for that signal check, Bernice. Congratulations on 29 years. Wow, February 5th, 1996. That's amazing. That is really amazing. I wonder, I wonder, like, when you first ran it, like, what, maybe you could mention how you were running it and what repeater and that type of thing. At that time, I guess now it really made a quantum leap with being able to get into it. I'm so fortunate to be able to get into this net, I believe that it's really amazing. It keeps the community active and that. It's about -10 Fahrenheit here tonight, and the house is starting to crack. So we have one dog who's a Australian Shepherd, part Australian Shepherd, and she doesn't like that. So we're gonna have a restless night with that. But because it's -10 Fahrenheit, the sky was just so clear tonight, and I was just able to see everything, everything up there. And I was in particular looking at Venus, the moon, Jupiter, and Mars, and thinking about the ecliptic and how much higher it is than, about a month ago. So that was kind of neat to see that tonight. And then all the stars are really, really clearly showing. I'm going to get out there and try to see if I can see a galaxy up there. With my binoculars. I know at this time of year, at about midnight, if I look straight up, I can just glimpse it, and I just don't remember which galaxy it is right now. But I've seen it a couple of times with binoculars, and it's just on the edge of my vision. Okay, well, thanks very much, Bernard, for running the net. Stanley Corrin here in Sudbury, Ontario, about 5 hours north of Toronto, Canada. Victor Echo 3, Papa Sierra Echo, back to net control.
All right, Stan. First off, stay warm. Stay warm for sure up there. And yeah, all that moisture gets frozen out of the air. You get some nice, clear skies, hopefully nice, steady skies as well, so you can spot whatever galaxy you're looking at. Probably maybe let's see what is up there. Yeah, Andromeda. No, that'll be a little bit late for that one. Whatever you can see with your binoculars for sure. It is amazing to see how much change that ecliptic does just in a month, and then of course next month we're hitting equinox, the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. So there you go. And the sun is rising in the east, setting in the west. Everything is moving right along that line there. So, definitely interesting to watch that. So, all right, Stan, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Yeah, I started on the Rocky Mountain Radio League's 146.94 repeater. There were maybe a half a dozen of us here in town that started off. Maybe a few more less, plus or minus a couple. And did that for years, for probably a decade or so, maybe even a little longer. Before we got hooked into the All-Star nodes for a little while, about 4 or 5 years, and we lost that. And I was back on the 9-4 system here in Denver area. And then got invited over to the Skyhub Link system 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And instead of having an average of 7, I've now got an average of 25, 26 check-ins every week there or so. I think the largest has been 40 since here. Maybe the largest I ever. Yes, Stan, I took all the check-ins by hand. I had a newsletter that I typed up and sent out via email a week on a monthly basis. And let's see, um, what have you? Yeah, now everything is done on the computer, pretty much, and yeah, I'm liking a lot. And now the net has definitely expanded to 2 hours with so many people to talk to, and like I say, it's just exploded worldwide for sure. So. I was maybe getting 30 counties. Now I'm getting 30 countries. So there you go. I'm still working on my worked all states on the Colorado astronomy net. I only think I'm missing two of the states, Mississippi and is it Delaware? I'm not sure. Delaware's a toughie, so we'll have to see. But Stan, yeah, I do appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AI Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Robert down in Texas, AA5AH. Good evening to you, Robert. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Picked up the wrong mic. I just been playing around with the radio. I got Windows 11 and just trying to get things, drivers all running. And I fixed my old Windows 10 PC. Graphics card board was dirty, so I had some old TV tuner and cleaned the little brass copper plates parts and put it back in, and it started running like a charm. So I've got two computers. But that's about it. Just setting up all the rooms and trying to listen to you guys. So this is AA5AH back then.
Right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Looks like I suffered a few dropouts there myself. Robert, yeah, have fun with those computers down there. And appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Let's see. Next on the list is Vic down in Arizona, K7MLI. Good evening to you, Vic. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Susan down in Arizona. KJ7QGF. Good evening to you, Susan. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Congratulations. This is KJ7QGF. Good evening, Bernice. We are so excited about all the progress you've made and all the wonderful information you share always. And we're happy as two larks. It's enjoying what you do. And anyway, it's just a pleasure. And likewise, we're having warm weather here too. We're in the 80s, and how could that be? It's supposed to be winter. Anyway, congratulations, Linus, on KJ7QGF.
All right, Susan. Yeah, I mean it's supposed to be February. It was in the 70s here in Colorado yesterday. Not quite that warm today. In the high 40s, low 50s. But it's supposed to be in the 60s for the rest of this week too. So we're experiencing some warm weather. Nice. It beats the heck out of snow, but I think it's kind of a foreshadowing of things to come. Unfortunately, let's say who says global warming isn't real? That's for sure. All right, Susan. I appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. You and Vic. Appreciate that. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I have reached the end of the list, and it's not quite 9 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and open up the net. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins? If you are a late check-in, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening? Please call KI0AR now.
Delta Zero India Romeo Papa KD0 IRP Ben and Howard Ranch.
This is Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Whiskey Papa. Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Whiskey Papa. Bruce from South Florida.
Okay, looks like I'm going to need a fill on some of these, and it looks like I got a bunch of new contacts on the list. So welcome, welcome new contacts. I'm going to get with you in just a sec. You guys have caught the tail end of the Colorado Astronomy Net. Hopefully you've been listening for a little bit, so I do appreciate that. Again, my name is Ernest. There's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, Echo, Sierra, Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt, India, Zero, Alpha, Romeo. Let's see. Jason, Idaho, KK7RGB, thanks for checking in. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Scott, missed your call. If you could come back with your call, I'll get you on the list down in Texas there. Scott, if you come back with your call phonetically twice, I'd appreciate it. I'll get you on the list. Go ahead.
No problem at all. Normally people miss my name and get the call. The call sign is November 5.
Scott, we missed the call again. We got a November 5. I think you may be a regular on here, but let's try again. Go ahead. I got November 5. Go ahead. Let's see. Scott, let's see. The only November 5 I got on my list is November 5 Zulu Lima. If you could give me a QSL or a change on that, I'd appreciate it. Just go ahead. All right, Scott, we got you on the list. N5 Zulu Lima. There we go. Ben, in Highlands Ranch, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net, KD0IRP. Thanks for checking in tonight. Let's see. And Bruce, KD4SWP in Florida. Thanks for checking in tonight. The three new check-ins there, Jason, Ben, and Bruce. Welcome to the net. I appreciate that. You've got the tail end of the Colorado Astronomy Net. We usually meet 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 0200 Zulu, and it's 0400 Zulu now, and 9 p.m. But I always like to touch base real quick with my new check-ins. Find out what your interest background in astronomy. If you've been listening in, that's fantastic. We're kind of celebrating the 29th anniversary of the Colorado Astronomy Net. Jason, you're first. KK7 RGB. Tell us a little bit about your interest, background in astronomy, and anything else you'd like to pass along to the net. Go ahead. Okay, we've been having some link issues this evening, some dropouts, things like that on my side, the digital side a little bit, unfortunately. I do want to welcome everybody. More information on skyhublink.com for the direct links to check in as well. Jason, I know you're out there up in Idaho. I do appreciate you checking in tonight. Also on NetLogger. So if you have NetLogger, you're more than welcome to check out the Colorado Astronomy Net. Go to Ben in Highlands Ranch, KD0IRP. Good evening to you, Ben. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Tell us a little bit about your interest, background in astronomy, anything else you'd like to pass along. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks. This is Ben, KD0IRP, mobile in Highland Ranch. I took a variety of astronomy classes when I was in college way back when, but my biggest interest right now is I have a 7-year-old who's discovered that there's a sky above us and loves going outside and looking up at the sky with me, especially when I take out the trash can of all things. But anyway, watching her get amazed at what's beyond our planet has really inspired me lately. Not usually out at this time of the night, but I'm headed back in for a class at work from 10 to midnight, and found you guys here. So thanks for the check-in. I appreciate it. It's been KD0IRP. Back to the net.
All right, Ben, welcome to the net. I appreciate that, and great to hear you have a youngster out there that's getting interested in the skies. I love answering questions from the youngsters, for sure. I do volunteer work with teenagers mostly, but love questions from the younger crew. Just out there wondering what the heck those things are up in the sky, and what am I looking at, and watching satellites go over and things like that. So welcome. Hopefully you'll be a regular, and you and your daughter will be here 29 years from now. We're celebrating the 29th anniversary of my running the Colorado Astronomy Net here. So there you go. Again, welcome to the net. Next, Bruce in Florida, KB4 SWP. Good evening to you, Bruce. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Tell us a little bit about your background, interest in astronomy, anything else you'd like to pass along to the net. Go ahead.
Astronomy, as a kid, growing up along the coastline here, just south of the Cape, rocket launches, from all the Apollo missions. I'm told that everybody go watch the monitors on all those missions, and they finally got in the Skylab, and all right, just got a DMR radio recently and got it all set up. I'm praying for I'm pretty happy anniversary also. One of the best, a lot of light pollution around here nowadays, with a lot of people in South Florida, but you can still get out in the western communities and still get a little bit, clearer. Around, you can see it. In the ham video was like I said, with the space coast and everything. All right, Bruce. It got most of that. It was a bit broken, but we've been having some issues this evening. Well, apologies for that, but got most of that. Again, welcome. Yeah, Skylab. That brings back ancient memories as well. So, yeah, I grew up in the Apollo age, the Gemini and Apollo for sure, watching those launches. Don't remember too much of the early 60s ones, but most of the rest of the ones I do. So, we're up during that initial space age. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. We do have some Florida check-ins every now and then, for sure. I do appreciate that.
This is KI0AR control for Colorado Astronomy. Again, welcome, Bruce, Ben, and Jason for sure. And let's see, we'll go back to Scott. We were having some issues with Scott in Texas. I think that was November 5, Zulu Lima, if that's correct, Scott. If it's not, you got a Scott in Texas. Go ahead, please. Okay, I just got an email from Doug, KF0PCW. I just got your email. See, that was about an hour ago. If you're still on, I do appreciate that. But let's see. I'll respond to him then. But all right. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the 25 check-ins. Great turnout, so I do appreciate that for checking in tonight. And 5 new check-ins as well, so I do appreciate that. Hopefully you guys will become regulars as well with the other 20 guys there. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater system. Also like to thank the Skyhub Link group for the use of their repeater systems and Echolink, all their connections at skyhublink.com for more information on that. So I do appreciate all the ways that we can connect with that. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.